Today, we're taking a look at my trail bike, which is essentially my daily driver. This may be one of the most unique builds I've ever had since 90% of the parts on the bike are made by smaller companies. After reading the comments, many of you are wondering why I went with the Evil Calling, which is a 650B trail bike with 5 inches of rear travel. Given that I'm a downhiller, a longer travel enduro bike would have made more sense, right? Well, most of the riding I do isn't that extreme. There's a fair bit of climbing and I don't want to lug around a bike with extra travel. But at the same time, I want to be able to bring this to a bike park and pin it wide open. Additionally, I'll be racing to a slalom and too much travel will just slow me down. Lastly, I come from BMX. I like dorking around on random features and I really wanted something that was playful and suited for a wide variety of terrain. With bikes, travel doesn't tell the whole story. In fact, bike geometry plays a greater role in how a bike behaves. Many modern XC bikes have similar amounts of travel, but a widely different geometry. The Calling is marketed as a bike-shaped skateboard, which has a slack head angle which makes it great for stability at high speeds, short chainstay which makes it poppy, and a low bottom bracket which is ideal for railing turns. There are a number of other features that make this frame appealing, such as an integrated chain guide, threaded bottom bracket, good documentation, and a few other features I outlined in my previous video. The main downside to this bike is the price tag. At $2,800, that's a lot of money. And for transparency reasons, I did not pay the full retail price. But they are not one of my sponsors. However, companies like Nobl Wheels, Cane Creek, Rotor Bike, Deity Components, and TRP Brakes have all stepped up to help sponsor this build. I think that speaks volumes for these companies because they truly believe in the mission of this channel of creating mountain bike videos that educate and inspire. Alright, now let's take a look at the components. On the front of this bike, I'm running a Cane Creek Helm. The travel of the helm is internally adjustable from 100 to 170 mils. Currently, mine is set to 150 with 2 notches of progressiveness. It has plenty of tire clearance and I was actually able to run this fork on my plus size rally Tokel. Attached to that is a Deity 50mm Copperhead stem and a set of Deity Skyline bars that are 787mm wide. In American words, that's 31 inches. These are the same rise and sweep as my Mohawks that I ran last year. The main difference is that they're made out of aluminum and not carbon. The brakes on this bike are the TRP Slates. They're a quad piston brake that uses mineral oil. If you've never heard of TRP, they are big in the cyclocross world, and they're the same company brakes that Aaron Gwynn runs on his bikes. Right next to my brakes is a Shimano XT shifter, and the other side is a Cane Creek universal dropper post lever. You will notice that I have all my levers tucked out of the way. This is for when things get rowdy and I need to death grip my bars. Moving on to the back, I'm running an unbranded dropper post. It has 170 mils of dropper post action, which leaves a ton of room for activities. But when I need to make my way back up, the Speedtrap seat comes in plenty comfy, especially while I pass time on the boring rides back up to the top. Now, I'm just going to conveniently skip over talking about my rear shock and just let you pretend like I'm running a Cane Creek double barrel air. The cranks I'm running are the newly released Rotor Hawk cranks. The modular design means they are somewhat future-proof, and that makes it easy to switch the cranks from bike to bike. Rotor is most famous for the Q-ring design, which is an oval chainring. There are 5 recommended settings, and I have mine currently set to number 1. Now, you're probably wondering, what the heck is an oval chainring, and why would you run one? The idea of an oval chainring is that it smooths out your cadence. It's as if you're running 2 different gear sizes, and it smoothly transitions from a harder gear to an easier gear to help eliminate the dead zone in between pedal strokes. I've come to enjoy it on long gradual climbs, but for technical terrain, it will take me a little bit of getting used to before I have a firm opinion. You'll notice I prefer to run flat pedals. This suits my riding style better and I find them more enjoyable. Unlike the trends of the industry, my main focus is to have fun, not go faster. But when things get serial, I'll throw on a set of Shimano SPDs for dual slalom racing. Now for drivetrain, I opted to go with the Shimano 1x11 drivetrain system. I'm running an 11 to 42 tooth cassette, and while I do prefer SRAM levers, I've had better luck with Shimano derailleurs. A big reason why I decided to go with Shimano is the ability to easily throw on a road cassette when I race dual slalom. On this bad boy is a set of Nobl TR38 carbon wheels. Nobl is the first company to reach out and offer support. These are a super durable set of carbon hoops with an internal diameter of 31mm. Laced up to the back wheel is a Nobl hub that uses a unique Sprag clutch system. This delivers instant engagement and minimizes resistance while coasting. Now the one drawback here is the lack of the iconic dentist sound. In fact, they're completely silent, which allows you to hear the trail better. So if bragging about hub engagement points and hub loudness is your thing, these might not be for you. However, if you do decide to pick a set of these up, mention Skills with Phil and they'll hook you up with some extra goodies. As for tires, I'm running a set of old tires that I had laying around. In the front, I'm running an Enduro casing Magic Mary, and in the back, I'm running a downhill casing Bontrager G4. For right now, the 2.3 Magic Mary is my go-to tire, but they're also super pricey. Since I enjoy a clean looking bike and to avoid a bird's nest of cables, I use electrical tape to keep all my cables nice and tidy. Additionally, to deaden any cable vibrations, I use heavy duty electrical tape in the sensitive areas. I guess now I need to answer how it rides. This bike is pretty much everything that I've ever wanted. It's also one of the first bikes that I've completely built from scratch. The best way to describe how this bike feels is a tiny downhill bike. It's extremely stable once you get up to speed, but at the same time, playful enough that you can dork around on random features. Now, it does have a few shortcomings. Even with the suspension locked out, I found that I lost a lot of energy to pumping when I hit dirt jumps. But if I were to session dirt jumps on a regular basis, I'd probably put a little bit more air in my rear shock. I was a little bit apprehensive about running carbon hoops. However, after casing the crap out of the double at Santos, I can confirm these are the most durable set of wheels I have ever run. In fact, the wheel wasn't even a little bit out of true. This was also my first time running TRP brakes. I found that the quad pistons on the Slates gave more than enough power while providing a little bit better modulation than you'd get on Shimano's. I'll have a full build and part list in the description below, but if I missed anything, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Now if you want to know how capable this bike is, I'll leave you with a playlist that answers just that. As always, my name is Kmetz. Thanks for playing bikes with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.